The leader of the strike squad gave the command, prompting the mages to illuminate the area. As the light spread, revealing the dim surroundings, lizard-like magic beasts slithered across the ground, their sharp claws scraping against the stone. With their numbers reduced, the Hauling Dot team stayed close to the strike squad, ready to begin their work as the battle commenced. Hyung acknowledged the order to stay close to the strike squad, understanding the need for caution. Meanwhile, Suho observed the lizard-type magic beasts, his thoughts lingering on the unexpected nature of their presence. He had anticipated a demon-type creature, especially since the cursed random box had granted him Vulcan's horn. Watching the hunter party in action would allow him to study their combat techniques, gaining insight into how various hunters operated in battle. With a wealth of Decurion and Centurion corpses accumulated from his daily quest, he decided to put them to use. Without hesitation, he gave the command, "Arise." As Suho assessed the battlefield, he noted that his growing intelligence had increased the number of shadow soldiers he could command to 7. The corpses of the defeated lizard magic beasts lay scattered across the ground. The strike leader surveyed the area before deciding it was time for a break. Some members expressed surprise at the early pause, but the strike leader explained that despite their willingness to continue hunting, they were limited by the number of haulers. However, as the strike leader turned around, his eyes widened in shock. The hauling was already finished. A shadowy figure loomed before him and asked if it was a summon. Suho gave a brief confirmation, prompting Hyung to anxiously wonder what he would say next. The strike leader extended a handshake, expressing eagerness for Suho to join their squad as an exclusive hauler. However, Suho showed no interest in continuing such work. Undeterred, the leader insisted, offering the highest possible salary in the field. Before the conversation could continue, one of the squad members rushed over in alarm. A grave issue had arisen. A civilian's lifeless body had been discovered. The strike leader immediately turned toward the source of the commotion, his expression shifting to one of shock and concern. The strike leader observed the scene carefully, acknowledging the presence of a corpse. Nearby, the mage studied the remains, noting the accessories that suggested the victim had been a civilian. However, something was off. There had been no reports of a fire-wielding magic beast in Seoul Station. Hyung glanced at Suho with growing unease, silently questioning the possibility that crossed his mind. Suho shared the same suspicion. The burns on the body resembled something familiar, mist burn. Recognition flashed across the leader's face as he processed the term. Mist burn referred to the recently discovered magic beasts that burned with an eerie blue flame. Hyung, still unsettled, recalled a previous encounter. They had been present at a mist burn incident before, back at Korea University of Arts. One of the strike team members called out, spotting another corpse nearby. Another voice quickly followed, announcing the discovery of yet another body. Suho turned to the raid leader, suggesting that they halt the hunt and report the situation to the Hunters Association. The leader remained calm, noting the victims were civilians and judging the threat minimal for their D-rank party. He reasoned that the situation shouldn't pose too much of a threat. The leader decided to continue, unfazed by the situation. Suho anticipated this response but remained concerned. Despite Suho's warning about the mist burn's danger, the leader asserted his authority, instructing the hauling team to clean up and follow. Hyung sighed at the thought of encountering mist burns again, while Suho advised him to use his sprint skill and escape immediately if things took a turn for the worse. A sense of looming danger filled the air. A chilling scream echoed through the room. The source was a civilian, their eyes consumed by the eerie glow of mist burn. Nearby, a group of handcuffed civilians trembled, their bodies radiating the same ominous aura. A crowd observed the unsettling scene in silence. Among them, a man stepped forward. He assessed the spectacle before him, unimpressed. Then, turning to his subordinate, he inquired about the progress of acquiring more fuel. A cloaked man stepped forward, his tone laced with irritation. An issue had arisen with the supply, making it increasingly difficult to obtain the necessary fuel. He contemplated seeking out a certain human to establish a new supplier. Beside him, a beast-like humanoid growled in frustration. The demand for fuel was urgent. The downfall of Hyena, their primary supplier, had created an unexpected setback. At this rate, their factory would lag behind others in the production of star powder. The man with the animal skull turned his head upward and observed a hunter's arrival. Perfect timing, given their need for fuel. The man with the beast face announced his intention to proceed, preparing for the necessary sacrifice and summoning of kin. Another member reminded Third that the objective was to capture the hunter alive, and Third agreed without hesitation. Meanwhile, on the other side of the dungeon, the strike team continued hunting lizard-type magic beasts. Their leader, pleased with their progress, noted that they were set to earn a considerable sum. One of the hunters agreed, glad they had chosen to continue hunting. Satisfied with their haul, the leader decided it was time to use a special item he had been saving. He revealed a vial of star powder, a highly sought-after mana amplifier among hunters. The others immediately recognized it, noting its rarity and the difficulty of obtaining one. To their daunt surprise, their leader had kept it hidden all this time. Although its effects only lasted for a week, star powder was known to be powerful enough to raise a low-rank hunter's abilities significantly. If he consumed it, he believed he would have enough mana to reach C rank. Third scanned the group, counting them one by one. 10 in total. Some would be troublesome opponents, but all 10 weren't necessary. The stronger ones needed to be eliminated. Gripping a vial of star powder, Third examined it closely. The hunters recoiled in shock. Could a magic beast use star powder? The realization sent a wave of urgency through them. Before the effects could take hold, they launched their attack. One hunter charged forward, only to be swiftly knocked unconscious by the sheer force of Third's blade. A mage followed up with a burst of flames, but the attack barely left a mark. Stunned by its ineffectiveness, the mage barely had time to react before being struck down as well. With ease, Third hoisted the limp bodies of the fallen hunters. Fuel secured. A notification appeared before Suho. Notice, a quest has arrived. He glanced at the glowing text, his eyes narrowing as another alert followed. Quest notice! Quest, rescue the survivors. A demon has captured people nearby. Rescue as many as possible. Rewards will vary depending on the number of survivors saved. Current number of survivors: 7. Rescued survivors: 0. Suho's gaze sharpened. A demon?